Aboro, Aboye, Aboshisha, and welcome to another edition of the Ifá Orisha Tradition Discussion. Okay, we have another information-packed stream for you today. But before I begin, let me open with the Iba. Open Ifun Olorun, Olodumare Oba Ejiki, Mojiloni, Mowogun Meriaye, Iba Ila Orun, Iba Iwo Orun, Iba Ariwa, Iba Gusu, Iba Oba, Iba Aye, Iba Orun Oke, Iba Baba, Iba Yeye, Iba Atibo Orun, Ibashe, Igungun Kiki Igungun, Ibashe Ori, Ori Inu, Ipori Atiwo Orun. Alright, so today we are going to get a little bit into what is Ifá. Alright, I'm going to read from a very interesting article that I came across that sort of explains some of the fundamental aspects of Ifá. This is in fact what I believe every devotee who is fully initiated should be able to explain to any inquirer who is asking about what Ifá is. Alright, so for those of us who have been initiated for a long period of time and is sometimes required to explain to others what we believe and what we practice, it might be well for you to take a notepad, a pen, and to take notes of the things that I'm going to mention in this stream. Alright, generally, people always are curious because it's seldom that they hear explanation from devotees. Most times people talk among themselves and they have some very egregious ideas about what Ifá Orisha is or might be in their opinion. But today I'm going to give a few definitions and some of the understandings. The first thing that I want to address here, or I want to give a definition of, is what is a Babalawo. Alright, a Babalawo is an experienced and highly skilled Ifá priest in the Yoruba religion, and the system of divination is known as Ifá. The literal translation of Babalawo is Father of Secrets or Father of Wisdom. And Iyanifa is the female counterpart of a Babalawo. Now, Awo Ifá is another term that you may hear quite a bit. And Awo Ifá is defined as an Ifá priest or priestess in training, preparing to become a Babalawo or Iyanifa. At a deeper level of understanding, Awo refers to the secrets and mysteries of neutral creation and evolution. Those who practice Ifá divination are known as Awo. A Babalawo identifies himself with an Ifá state of mind and consciousness. It is a state of being positive, having a clear mind, and maintaining good energy. Being certain of the path and secure of their destiny allows them to be confident and humble with their actions. There is no room for negativity, impurities, or anything else that can darken the thinking process. Now I'm going to read about the Babalawo's responsibilities. A Babalawo that chooses to practice Ifa is typically tasked with the responsibility of primarily helping other individuals and the community in determining and providing solutions through Ifa divination. They can help individuals or their community understand their purpose. They help provide clarity and understanding on how to live in the most positive way. An experienced Babalawo is able to provide the help necessarily due to a combination of his intelligence, character, life experiences, and a thorough understanding of the corpus of Odu Ifá. A Babalawo is a person that is always ready to help, guide people and communities. They understand their responsibilities to themselves, their people, and the community at large. Each Awo can help depending on their specialization. An Awo has the option of specializing in different practices. Some lean on Ifa, while some aspects are keen to medical healing roles they offer and are referred to as an Onisegun. All right, now before I continue reading, I have done several lives on this issue of Babalawos, Awos, explaining that a Babalawo is not simply someone who can divine. There are various types of Babalawos. And what I just read there, what is called an Onisegun, is a type of Babalawo. But he is the type of Babalawo who specializes in medicinal healing. Nonetheless, he is still considered a Babalawo. All right? Because in his profession, beside preparing akoshes and various forms of medicine, he is also required to be able to perform divination in order to be able to find out things, whether the solution would be medicine or whether it could simply be herbal. All right, so let me continue reading. So some of the responsibilities of an Awo includes providing spiritual guidance through Ifa readings and divination. A Babalawo communicates with Ifa during these processes. He prescribes and performs Herbal, which is sacrifices, and these are used to correct issues that are being experienced in a person's life or the life of the community. The third responsibility of the Awo includes prescribing herbal medicines to improve health, to heal, as well as to prevent illnesses. The other one is Ishefa, which is one hand of Ifa ceremony. This provides protection and it improves life circumstances. It is one step closer to Ifa. All right. Now, Itefa, which is the initiation ceremonies, into the Ifá priesthood. That is also another responsibility of the Awo. And the last one is he's the custodian of information related to Yoruba culture, tradition, and rituals. The title Babalawo is earned after many years of Ifá study and practice. Those recently initiated into Ifá that plan to practice the religion spend more time learning the secrets of Odu Ifá. Alright? I'm going to stop from reading a little bit and I'm going to explain something that I have learned in my travels and in my experience. Now, normally, persons who become Babalawo in the fatherland would be persons who, through hereditary, whether it's a family practice, in some cases through the guidance of Ifá, and in some of the cases where a person's destiny is to become a Babalawo, sometimes they train uninitiated, and at the end of their training, they also receive their initiation. But that is not the norm. The norm is you go through the various rites of passage or the various forms of initiation, of which there are several. I've only mentioned two of them so far in this reading, which is Ishefa and Itefa. But there are several other initiations. Some of them are performed at birth. Others are performed not too long after birth. Some of them are performed up to 3 years after that. Alright, and then you have Hand of Ifá, and you also have Itefa, or what some people call Iteladu. Alright, I'm going to continue reading now on what is Ifá. There are 256 Odu Ifás in the literary corpus of Ifá. These are the verses that contain the knowledge and wisdom of Ifá, and that helps to bring light into and guide people in their lives. As previously mentioned, a well-trained Babalawo or priest would have undergone many years of study and training to obtain the knowledge and wisdom necessary that aids in helping others. The number of years and practice may vary as each individual person. It primarily depends on the level of dedication and the effort that the person puts into the process of learning Ifá. And let me stop and explain a little bit. There is no fixed number of years for the training to become a Babalawo. That's the first thing I want to point out. And the second thing I want to point out is the training of a Babalawo is a lifelong process. As a Babalawo who is practicing, you learn new things every day. Why? Because you are dealing with people, as a result of which you would hear different situations and unique situations which you would have to address. And in some cases, if you cannot address the issue, you may refer the person to another Babalawo who is qualified in that field. And if there is no one to refer, then you would have to get the requisite knowledge by learning. So the idea that a person becomes a Babalawo and is a Babalawo and it ends there, and once you do this or that and that, no, that's not how it works. There is no fixed period of time for the training. There is a recommended period, but depending on the level of the person's aptitude and the level of commitment, a person might be able to undergo a short period of training and yet be qualified. So looking at a young person and saying they could never be a Babalawo, I have learned very different when I visited Nigeria. Because persons who Ifá guides to become Babalawo, sometimes they start training as soon as they are able to. Soon as they could walk and talk, they start learning to recite verses, they start learning rituals, and they start learning aspects of the tradition. All right, so it is not an age thing. It is not a how long you're in Ifa thing. It is not, in many cases, I hear people talk about the reciting of verses. There are short verses in Ifa, and there are long verses in Ifa. In the training, you learn the short verses first, and then you learn the long verses. So sometimes being able to recite the 16 principal Odus might just be 16 lines if you're learning the very short verses. So saying that a Babalawo have to be able to recite at least so much and 16, and then he had to be able to recite 250. I've heard people say these things. And I'm afraid a lot of the people who say these things are very, very uninformed. There are a lot of general concepts about the training, the preparation, but in many cases there are exceptions, that's one, and two, there are details that a person on the outside is not privy to. So sometimes you hear people saying a lot of things about the training and the Babalawo and how much verses they could recite, and the person actually have no clue, and a lot of the information that they are presenting is absolutely incorrect. So people be very careful. Let me continue reading. A good Ifa priest understands and accepts the heavy responsibility of helping others in good faith. It is very important that the person going through the process of becoming a Babalawo has looked inside themselves to access and address any shortcomings they may have. The responsibility of becoming a Babalawo comes with lots of responsibility and accountability. A person contemplating the initiation into Ifa needs to first determine if their character is ready for such responsibilities. That comes with the Babalawo powers. Try and understand yourself and also ask yourself that cogent reason why you want to be an Ifa priest and analyze your answer. Check with your heart to know if your answers are sincere and they come from an honest and simple place. The abilities gained by a person pursuing the practice of being an Ifa priest or priestess can be very beneficial. The knowledge gained through the process is a blessing and should be treated so. Learning to intelligently and respectfully use the Ifa divination system provides a channel of communication between Ifa, Orunmila, and the Babalawo. This opportunity is what ultimately guides us all towards our chosen destiny and provides clarity of our purpose on earth. All right, and I would like to close with that. All right, now what I would like to do, because for persons who are interested in learning more about Ifá, we always recommend that you go to a competent, capable, responsible person to learn Ifá from. Sometimes it is not always convenient or easy to find such a person. Many people rely on persons abroad. And if you find a good, responsible person who lives in the fatherland, I think that is great. But in many instances where persons come and perform initiations, it is not convenient for them to always be in Trinidad to provide teachings to their godchildren. So what I would recommend for persons wanting to be a part of the community and wanting to learn, you can contact me and I would provide you with a shrine that is a part of the IOCTT, which is the Ifá Orisha Council of Trinidad and Tobago. Any of the members, I would recommend them depending on where you are located. Other than this, for persons who find it difficult to get out to the shrines for whatever reason, you can learn by following this network, and I'm going to provide for you the names of several other YouTube channels as well as Facebook platforms where teachings are provided on Ifá Orisha. We host 3 YouTube channels on the Green Network, right? One of them is the Ifá Bemero Home of Ifá Orisha Tradition, Ile Ijuba Ejiogbe, all right, and this Bue Medzi family on YouTube. On the Facebook platform, we have the Ifá Orisha Community Trinidad and Tobago message board. We have the Ile Ijuba Ode Otun, which is our shrines page. We also have the Ifá Orisha Tradition Discussion group, which is our largest group. We have 1.4K people on that particular platform on Facebook. We also have the Ifá Orisha Institute of Sacred and Divine Sciences. We have the Traditional Herbal Health Network International. We have the Grassroots Education and Entertainment Network. We have the Ifá Orisha Tradition Teaching Group of Trinidad and Tobago. We have the Ifá Orisha Community Congress. We also have a business platform called the Orisha Baptist Small and Medium Business Alliance. We have the Autochthonous Island People Traditional Community. We have the Bue Medzi Family Temple, which we also have that same one on YouTube. We have the Irie Island Research and Study Group. All right. On these platforms, we post a lot of information. I post up some of my live videos. All right. Because on YouTube, we have over 150 pre-recorded lives where information concerning Ifá is taught. So you could visit our YouTube channels. I would recommend 2 of them. One of them is the Ifá Bemero Home of Ifá Orisha Tradition. And the other one is the Ile Ijuba Eji Ogbe. Alright? Now, beside Facebook platforms, YouTube channels, we also offer several virtual classes. We offer one, which is the first level for anyone who's interested in learning about Ifá Orisha. We have the Fundamentals of Ifá virtual class. That class, fortunately, is free. You don't have to pay for that class. However, the other classes you have to pay. We have classes that are preparing persons to get their hand of Ifá. It's called the Pre-Ishefa class. You have to pay for that class, but we have virtual classes for Pre-Ishefa for persons interested in getting their hand of Ifá. We also have classes for Pre-Itefa, right? Or for persons who are interested in doing full Ifá initiation. And we are also arranging to have an advanced class for persons already initiated and who are interested in workshops where they could learn the practical aspects of Ifá. For example, they would be taught how to keep Oshe Obatala. They would be taught how to keep Oshe Ifá. They would be taught how to keep Oshe Shango and Oshe Ogun. Plus, they could be also taught to do aspects of propitiation for all of the various Orishas, and also for the ancestors. So we offer quite a variety of service. They all fall under the Ile Ijuba Ode Otun, which is our shrine, and the platforms and networks fall under the grassroots network, right, which is for education and entertainment. All right, that is our platform for all of our video productions. All right, so I would like to thank everyone for stopping in. And as usual, my advice is you do good for yourself. You do bad for yourself. So I always recommend, do good. All right. Allow, when you have traveled on or transitioned, allow your children to inherit the benefits of your good deeds and actions. All right. And with that, I would like to say Odabo, thank you, and see you soon. Odabo.